All right, hello class. Today we're going to continue to talk about graphing. Okay? And hopefully you just went over Friday night's homework, the graphing, quadratics, finding the info. And then we talked a little bit about graphing on Friday. We're going to continue talking about it today. Okay, just a little refresher. Remember that to find the vertex, you do x equals negative b over 2a. Then you plug that back in to find out what the y value of the vertex is. Remember that the axis of symmetry comes from the x value of the vertex, and the max or min comes from the y value. Okay. If a is positive, it opens up. If a is negative, it opens down. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Let's go ahead and find the vertex of the very first one. So A equals 1, B equals 0, and C equals 3. Remember that these values are coming from the quadratic equation. Okay. So B is going to be 0, so x equals negative b over 2a, which is just 0. Plug that back in, and you get y to be 3. So your vertex is 0, 3. And then your axis of symmetry is x equals 0. Remember to always write it as an equation of a line, otherwise you will lose points. And since a is positive, that means our graph is going to open up, which means we have a minimum at 3. All right, let's go ahead and plot the very first point. So 0, 3. And then there's two ways that you guys can graph quadratics. The first way is using the XY table or the 1A, 3A, 5A shortcut, which we will talk about in just a moment. But first, let's graph using the table. So wherever the first x value is, remember that you pick two values to the right and two values to the left. So 1, 2, negative 1, negative 2. Okay, take each one of those values and plug it back into your equation to find the y value. So 1 squared plus 3 equals 4. 2 squared plus 3 equals 7. Negative 1 squared plus 3 equals 4. And 2 squared plus 3 equals 7. Notice that the values repeat as they should, because remember that a quadratic creates a parabola, and a parabola is always symmetrical. Okay, so let's go ahead and plot those points. So we have 1, 4 and negative 1, 4. And then we have 2, 7 and negative 2, 7. Connect the points. You should have a nice little U-shaped parabola. Label your vertex. Make sure that you have arrows at the end of your parabola, otherwise you will lose points. And then go ahead and draw in the axis of symmetry, which is a dashed line with arrows at the end, and label your axis of symmetry. All right, let's talk about the shortcut for the very same problem. Okay, the shortcut is what we call 1A, 3A, 5A, and it comes from the difference between the perfect squares. Okay, we really only need to do 1A and 3A, so you won't really hear me talking about the 5A too much. So 1A, 3A. When I'm talking about A, I'm talking about that leading coefficient that we decided over here. That's A. So 1 times 1 is 1 over 1, and 3 times 1 is 3 over 1. Okay. Now you might be asking, why are we writing it over 1? I'll get into that more with you guys tomorrow, but please get into the habit of it today. Okay. The top number always tells you how much you're going to go up or down from the very last set of points you made, and the bottom number tells you how much you're going to go left and right. Well, the bottom number is always going to be 1, so you're always going to go left or right 1. So starting at the vertex, this very first set tells us 1 over 1. So I'm going to go up 1, left and right 1. Then up 3, left and right 1. Notice I have the same exact parabola regardless of which way I chose. All right, let's go down to the next example. So x equals negative b over 2a. So negative 0 over 2 times negative 2, which is just 0. Plug 0 in. Okay. And you get the vertex to be 0, 6. Axis of symmetry is x equals 0. Since the a value is negative this time, our parabola is going to open down, which means we have a maximum value at whatever the y value of the vertex was. Okay, let's go ahead and plot that. So we have a point at 0, 6, that's our vertex. And once again, since the x value is at 0, we're going to choose two values to the right and two values to the left. Well, 2 to the right would be 1 and 2. 2 to the left would be negative 1 and negative 2. All right. Let's go ahead and plug those values in. So negative 2 times 1 squared plus 6. Remember, of order of operations, exponents come first. Then we have negative 2 times 2 squared plus 6, which is negative 2. Negative 2 times negative 1 squared plus 6 is 4. And negative 2 times negative 2 squared plus 6 is negative 2. Once again, notice that the values repeat themselves as they should because this is symmetrical. If it doesn't repeat themselves, then you know you made a mistake somewhere. All right, let's plot these. So we have 1, 4, and then we have 2, negative 2, negative 1, 4, and negative 2, negative 2. Label your vertex. Drawing the axis of symmetry as a dashed line, and label your axis of symmetry as well. All right, let's say we're going to use the shortcut, the 1a, 3a. So the a value is negative 2, so we're going to do 1a, 3a. So 1 times negative 3 is negative 3 over 1. Oh, sorry. It's supposed to be negative 2. Okay. And then 3 times negative 2 is going to be negative 6 over 1. Okay. Remember, the top number tells you how much you're going to go up or down. Bottom number tells you to go left and right 1. So starting at the vertex, we're going to go down 2, left and right 1. And then we're going to go down 6 from the very last set of points you made. Do not go back to the vertex. Left and right 1. Once again, you notice that you get the same exact quadratic. Okay. Let's go on to the next problem. By the way, you guys, I don't care which way you use, if you do the XY table or the shortcut, but just so you know, in future reference, you're going to see me doing the shortcut more than the XY table. All right, so x equals negative b over 2a. You guys got to be really careful with negatives on this. Sorry, I don't know why this keeps disappearing. So we have 2 over 2, which is 1. Plug that back in. And you're going to get 1 again. Oh, no, sorry. You're going to get 3. Okay. All right, so your axis of symmetry is x equals 1. Your vertex is 1, 3. Your a value is 1, which means your graph is opening up. And therefore, you're going to have a minimum value at 3. All right, so let's go ahead and plot these points at vertex at 1, 3. Okay. Now, if you were using the XY table, you would choose two values to the right of the vertex and two values to the left of the vertex. So since your vertex starts at x equaling 1, you would choose 2 and 3, and then 1 and 0. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and just strictly do the shortcut on this one. So my a value is 1, so I'm going to do 1a is 1 over 1. 3a is 3 over 1. So I'm going to go to my graph. I'm going to go up 1, left and right 1, and then up 3, left and right 1. Remember that the top number tells you which direction to go. The bottom number always tells you to move left and right 1. Sorry again, I don't know why it keeps going back and forth like that. All right, so once you graph your parabola, make sure you label the vertex, make sure you draw in the axis of symmetry, and make sure you label the axis of symmetry. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead. We're going to skip number 4 till I get back tomorrow. Let's go ahead and try number 5. Just to give you a fair warning, it is going to go off the graph a little bit, and that's okay. But I'm going to give you guys about a minute to get started on this problem, and then I'm going to start doing the work on here without talking, and then about the last minute or so, I will walk you guys through it. Alright, so the work is up on the screen now. The first thing you had to do was find the vertex, so x equals negative b over 2a. You should have gotten x to equal 1, and then when you plugged it back in, you should have gotten y to equal negative 1. Okay, so you get the axis of symmetry, x equals 1, vertex is 1, negative 1. A is negative 3, so that means it's a maximum, which means your graph opens down, and you have a max value at negative 1. Okay. So first I plotted my vertex at 1, negative 1 in red. If you were doing the XY table, you would have chosen values 2, 3, and 1 and 0. Or sorry, 0 and negative 1. Okay. I did the shortcut, so A equals negative 3, so 1A is negative 3 over 1. 3A is negative 9 over 1. So I plotted down 3, left and right 1, and then down 9, left and right 1 from the very last set of points I made. Okay. That concludes the notes for today. You guys have worksheet 1 for homework tonight. It's only 6 problems. You guys can work with your DFF as long as you're working to help each other out, and I will see you tomorrow.